Okay, multiplying, dividing, rational expressions. This is essentially the same as just simplifying rational expressions. We're just adding a couple more steps, okay? So let's start with product or quotient just without variables right now. So first we're going to say, can anything go into 5 and 7? Nothing can. Can anything go into 5 and 36? No, nothing can either. Can anything go into 14 and 7? Yes. 7 can, not 2. 7 goes into 14 twice. 7 goes into 7 one time. Now I'm going to say, can anything go into 2 and 36? Because the 14 got replaced with the 2. Yes, 2 can. 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 36 18 times. Just finish simplifying that. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 18 is 18. So that reduces to 5 over 18. Another way to do that is to go 5 times 14 over 7 times 36. 5 times 14 is 70. 7 times 36 is 252. And then you can reduce that. And remember, you can do that in your calculator by just doing 70 divided by 252, pushing math enter, enter, and that's 5/18. Okay? Let's look at B. So on division, dividing by a fraction is the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. If you don't know what the reciprocal is, that is just the fraction flipped upside down. So every single time you divide by a fraction, you have to flip the second fraction and change the division sign to a multiplication. So this becomes 36 over 45 times 21 over 18. Okay, and now we're just going to go through and we're going to simplify this. Can anything go into 36 and 45? Yes. 9 can. 9 goes into 36 4 times. 9 goes into 45 5 times. Now can anything go into 4 and 18? 2 can. 2 goes into 4 twice. 2 goes into 18 9 times. Now we're going to move to the 21. Can anything go into 21 and 9? Yes. Or that should have been a 5, not a 9. Can anything go into 21 and 5? No. Can anything go into 21 and 9? Yes. 3 can. So 3 goes into 21 7 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. So then that's 7 times 2 over 5 times 3, which is 14 over 15. Or the other way to do it, which is a little simpler, you just do 36 times 21 over 45 times 18. And that equals 756 over 810. Put that in your calculator, push math, enter, enter, and you get the same thing, 14 over 15. Okay, so there's 2 ways to do that. I'm good with either way. I don't care which way you do it, just as long as you're getting the right answer. Okay, so let's get into ones where we actually have variables. So first thing you always do is start with restrictions. So we just have variables. So here it's y cannot equal 0, x cannot equal 0. Now let's just start to simplify this down. So I'm going to rearrange this, put all my numbers up front, and then my x's and my y's. So I have 3 times 7 times x squared times y over 5 times 12 times x cubed times y. So I just rearrange this. This is all multiplication, so you multiply all the tops together, all the bottoms together. 3 times 7 is 21. 5 times 12 is 60. Now I'm just going to start reducing these. So 21, 3 goes into 21 7 times. 3 goes into 60 20 times. So that reduces to 7/20ths. So 7 over 20, then x squared over x cubed, and y over y. I'm just going to write out my x's and write out my y's. So those x's right there will cancel. Those x's will cancel. Those y's will cancel. And you're just left with 7 on top and 20x on the bottom. That's your final answer there. Okay, let's look at B. So first we start with the restrictions. To do restrictions on this one, we have to factor the denominators. So x squared minus 4 is the difference of squares. So x squared minus 4 factors to x minus 2, x plus 2. So I'm just going to replace that part with x minus 2, x plus 2. Now we have to use the x to factor x squared plus 2x minus 3. That factors to x plus 3, x minus 1. So I'm going to replace that up there. So that's x plus 3, x minus 1. Now I need to state my restrictions. So x minus 2 can't equal 0, x plus 2 can't equal 0, x plus 3 can't equal 0, x minus 1 can't equal 0. So x can equal positive 2, negative 2, negative 3, or positive 1. Now we need to factor the numerators. So 3x minus 6, factor out a GCF first, you can take out a 3. So that's 3, and you're left with x minus 2. X squared plus 5x plus 6. Use the x to factor it factors to x plus 3, x plus 2. Now let's go through and cancel things. So start with the 1 on the left. 3, there's no 3's on the bottom, so that can't cancel. X minus 2's, those can cancel. X plus 3's cancel. X plus 2's cancel. And you're left with 3 over x minus 1. Okay, so that's our final answer. We're good. Let's go to finding the quotient in simplest form. So now we're doing division. So remember, on division, the first thing you always have to do is flip that second fraction with that very sad little arrow right there. So that's 7x over 4y cubed times 8y over 21x cubed. So I just flipped that second fraction. Now I'm going to state my restrictions. X cannot equal 0, y cannot equal 0. Okay. Now, I'm just going to go through and rewrite this. So 7 times 8 times x times y, and then 4 times 21 times x cubed times y cubed. 7 times 8 is 56. 4 times 21 is 84. And then we have x and x cubed, y and y cubed, those stay the same. So 28 goes into 56 twice. 28 goes into 84 3 times. So that reduces to 2 and 3. Then I'm going to just write out all my x's, write out my y's. Those x's right there will cancel. Those y's will cancel. So you're left with 2 over 3 times x times y, which is 2 over 3x squared y squared. And that is your final answer there. Okay, let's look at B now. So first again, you always start by flipping the second fraction first. So that becomes 2x squared minus 6x over x squared minus 1. Now I'm going to factor the bottoms. So x squared plus x minus 12 factors to x plus 4, x minus 3, x squared minus 1, that's the difference of squares, so that factors to x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay, now I need to state my restrictions. So x cannot equal negative 4, positive 3, negative 1, or positive 1. Then I'm going to go through and I'm going to factor the top of this. So x squared plus 5x plus 4 factors to x plus 4, x minus 1. 2x squared minus 6x, you can pull out the 2x and you're left with x minus 3. And now we're just going to cancel things that can cancel. So x plus 4 over x plus 4 cancels. X plus 1 over x plus 1 cancels. 2x cannot cancel. X minus 3's cancel. So you're left with 2x over x minus 1. And that is your final answer there. Okay. Let's do these last couple examples, maybe. Okay, so this one is still just multiplication. So we're going to start by factoring the denominator. So x squared plus 4x minus 12, use the x to factor that. That factors to x plus 6, x minus 2. So we state our restrictions. X cannot equal negative 6, positive 2, or negative 3. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to factor the top. So x squared plus 3x minus 10 factors to x plus 5, x minus 2, using the x. 3x plus 18, you can pull out a 3, and you're left with x plus 6. Then I'm just going to go through and cancel my common things. So x plus 5 cannot cancel. X minus 2 over x minus 2 is gone. The 3 can't cancel, but then those x plus 6's are gone. So you're left with 3 times x plus 5 over x plus 3. And that's your final answer there. Okay, let's look at example B. So first things first, that's division, so you always flip that second fraction on division. Now I'm going to factor the denominators. So that's x minus 3, x minus 5 for the x squared minus 8x plus 15. Factors to x minus 3, x minus 5 using the x. X squared minus 4 factors to x minus 2, x plus 2. So my restrictions are x cannot equal 3, 5, 2, or negative 2. Now the top, x squared minus 7x plus 10, factors to x minus 5, x minus 2. X squared plus 3x minus 18 Factors to x plus 6, x minus 3. I'm going to go through and cancel my common factors. So x minus 5 and x minus 5 cancels. X minus 2 and x minus 2 cancels. X minus 3 and x minus 3 cancels. So you're left with x plus 6 over x plus 2. And you're all done. Okay, so it's basically the same as simplifying. Just remember, on division, you have to flip that second fraction first. Okay, biggest thing, flip the second fraction first on division. Factor everything, find your restrictions, cancel common factors. Okay, take the quiz. I will see you guys tomorrow.